Welcome back. We are discussing the recent approval of the Union Cabinet on some of the long-standing demands of ex-servicemen. Major Navdeep, the basic issue of one rank, one pension remains. To what extent do you think, this is a defiance of the court orders?
Court orders, as I said earlier, the anomaly arose on 1st of January 2006. It has to, the rectification of the anomaly has to go back to 1/1/2006, and Professor Sharma is absolutely right. It affects civilians also, and it has to be rectified for civilians also. As General Surjit was saying, the difference of pension between a major and a lieutenant colonel till 31st of December 2005 was only 950 rupees.
Okay.
And in one day it increased to 11,000 rupees. Same between majors and lieutenant colonels. Same is the case between Deputy Secretary Government of India and Director Government of India. Same kind of a lag. So all these anomalies, these have to be rectified. The gap has to be bridged to an acceptable level. Now 4,000 extra have been granted to majors, perfectly fine. That's all right. But from when? Why from September 2012? Why an artificial cut-off date? OROP, I would say, is an ambiguous concept till date. I haven't been able to understand what would OROP ultimately in actual terms mean. How do we take which is the point of fixation? How do we calculate the figures? However,
that's because the last pay drawn would be different for both
absolutely
different categories.
So even if you say that equal pay for equal rank for equal length of service, still what is the point that we are looking at for civilians as well as for Fauji's? Having said that, still the gap has to be bridged. There has to be very minimal difference between post-date retirees and pre-date retirees, and that has to be taken care of for all pensioners across the board. Especially, there has to be a parity between commissioned officers and the civilian pensioners. Jawans do require an extra dispensation because of their early retirement, but all other pensioners have to be treated.
The point is very valid, that there is need to wedge the gap as much as possible. General Surjit Singh, there is a feeling that actually what the government has done is to increase the wedge between the other ranks and the officers, and also between the ex-servicemen and the civilians. Do you think so?
Exactly how people will react. I have been trying to speak to other ranks since you spoke to me yesterday. A majority of them have not understood as to what has happened. It's still settling down. At the end of
maybe the government, a spokesperson for the government should explain what all actually has come
There
about.
are actually two very major problems.
Okay.
One, of course, which I have earlier, I was speaking to Professor Sharma. When you have a Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare in the Government of India, it has one secretary, one additional secretary, two joint secretaries, and so on. So none from the armed forces. When you handled this committee, when you appointed this committee, I think there were 11 members in that.
That's right.
Again, no member from the armed forces. Now, things were pretty fine until the so-called first pay commission and second pay. Actually, they were not first and second pay. One was called Raghuramaya committee and the other was called Jagannath Das committee, because this numbering started with the third pay commission. Do you know that at that time the armed forces were regulated by their own committees? And these committees were not actually constituted in this manner. It was a series of meetings. One set of series of meetings.
Very valid point. Let me bring in Professor Sharma into the conversation. Why do you think the government has done this, that kind of not kept the defense personnel into these committees?
You see, basically there are so many, for example, banking people want our person should be there.
I think that's a fair demand.
No, that's what I say. So in order, either they should rationalize that based upon that what is the percentage of total is over there, but I think it is fair that there should be some person from the defense services, but that is true for others also, bigger chunks also, which don't have any representation. It is the IAS officers.
But don't you think increasing this wedge between various categories, between the civilians and the Fauji's and within the army defense personnel themselves, this is a very dangerous trend, should be avoided?
It is, I think, it is, I think, because perception, there may be not that much you see difference, but when perception makes the whole situation, and at this moment the perception is that the government is against the defense forces, which is a very bad way of doing. I think the government should take little more steps, as you say, that there should be a little more you could say sitting or more public relation exercise to say that why the government has done this.
Yes. Let me come back to Jan Sujit Singh. I think you were trying to make 2 or 3 points.
I am going to make 1 point and 1 point only.
Okay.
It has been my belief that unless we go into something like what the UK have done and what the Americans have done, they have very short duration of terms of engagement for other ranks. And they don't give them pension. 5 years and they don't get. They have 4 services, like we have 3 services, they have 4 services. The US Army, US Air Force, US Navy and US Marines, which is a combination of these 2.
Okay.
We had a total
but the UK
Army is now 1,23,000. I can put it in my pocket and go.
Okay.
3 football fields is enough for them. Australian Army is 80. They don't even have anybody more than a Major General. They can't have. But they have a strong Navy.
But how do they deal with this 1 rank, 1 pension issue?
Oh, they don't. They don't. As far as US Armed Forces is concerned, it's very simple.
Okay.
Bulk of the people come in for 5 years. Men. Officers come for ROTC, which is, Reserve of Officers Training Corps or whatever. The people who come from West Point.
But what is the number of their permanent commission in the United States?
Oh, it is not very large. The number of pensioners for 2,300,000 people, I was told, is less than 5 lakhs.
So maybe that's the way to go?
That's right. For that, permit me to finish this. Everybody says, give them lateral induction.
Right.
Now, the obvious lateral induction for a soldier is police. And police does not accept a soldier. Because police does things which our man is not capable of doing. What is necessary is to give a soldier a skill. Here we are responsible. When
So Sujit Singh, what is the way forward on the OROP?
There is only one method.
Okay.
Somehow bring down the number of these pensioners from 23 lakhs to a reasonable figure of half of this or something. And for that, what you have to do is you have to give a skill to a soldier. At the moment, he has only one skill, the kill skill. He can kill people, he can dig and so on. So they call it the kill skill, incidentally. It's an accepted term. It's a kill skill. The ability to kill a man before he kills you is a kill skill. What you have to give him is one skill which is military related and a minimum of 2 skills which are saleable in the market. If you have taught a man how to fish, you have fed him for life. If you give him fish, you have given him fish for 1 day.
Interesting. Professor Sharma, how would you react to what?
No, that's what I say. In USA, what is happening is that large number of people, they go to the armed forces because they can't afford professional education. And anybody who has served for 5 years, professional education is free for him. The government pays for it. That's what I am trying to say, that instead of making it a lifelong liability, as General has said, that we should have a skill set, so that the person who comes, he has a skill set and he can be self-sufficient.
Major Nadeep, from the issues which are listed before the High-Powered Committee, which was led by the Cabinet Secretary, a lot of things have not been addressed so far.
That is mostly related to serving personnel, like non-functional upgradation, enhancement of grade pay. But the problem with these committees is that the stakeholders are not a party. The stakeholders do not sit there to discuss. So ultimately there is no application of mind, and what is put up by a section
officer. That's exactly what Jan Sujit Singh is saying.
So in all, like Professor Sharma was saying, in all such committees on the civilian side, stakeholders are a party. In the railways, there is a railway board. Before the Department of Pensions and Pensioners Welfare, there are pensioner organizations. The departments are also asked to put in their representatives. Over here, nothing at all. What is put up from below is approved from the top, and I can bet that the Cabinet Secretary or even the Defence Minister would not know that out of all these demands, almost everything has been addressed by courts, and it has been addressed by courts from 1/1/2006. So what is put up from down below is approved from the top, because there is no one to rebut. There is no member of the army to rebut, there is no pensioner organization to rebut, there is no stakeholder to rebut. So it's only a one-way thing which gets imposed upon pensioners. That is the problem. And the demands or the issues related to serving officers were also very important, but I believe they have not been rejected, but they'll be put up before a separate cabinet meeting, I think.
So you think there would be another committee or before another cabinet meeting?
No, there will be another cabinet meeting to discuss those other issues. The committee was only one.
Professor Sharma, now in committees like the National Security Advisory Board, are such issues often discussed there?
Not salary or pensions, but other issues are.
But this affects the morale of the entire force.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You see, now I think reason is that NSAB takes the issues which are there. For example, procurement. Most of the changes which has taken place in procurement have been suggested by NSAB, and similarly so many other things.
There is another feeling that some of the senior officers, particularly the chiefs, have not been taking up the issue as strongly as they should have. What is your take on this?
People were saying that the chairman COSC, the naval chief, he was looking forward to an appointment in New Zealand or Canada, and that. But I don't think those things are very correct. Actually, the chiefs do not have the expertise at all to deal with. They don't know the issues themselves, and the experts, they are not a part of the committee. So it's a wheel within a wheel. Even if you see the dispensations now granted, the final letter that will come out, it will create so much of chaos. It will be totally confusing to an untrained eye. You keep looking at the letter, you will not get to understand what it is. Ultimately, what will happen? More committees, more litigation.
But then the chiefs are briefed by their own committees. For example, you had the pay commission cell within the army.
The cell has experts.
I briefed the chairman, chiefs of staff committee and the army commanders a minimum of 7 times in my time. Well, I can tell the exact names because I have dealt with them. The other day, General Malik was there with some channel, I forgot. And you know, very ruefully, the bulk of the main thrust of his was that why are we not consulted? वो तो उसने कोई कह रहा था उर्दू में, कहता है मेरा कातिल ही मेरा मुंसिफ है, मेरा कातिल ही मेरा मुंसिफ है, क्या मेरे हक में फैसला देगा?
जी,
बहुत में आबरू होकर तेरे कूचे से हम निकले.
But Jan Sujit Singh, now before we close, tell us what is the recourse the ex-servicemen are planning to take? They have returned the medals more than once.
At this point of time, it appears to me that yesterday fundraising, this thing has started.
Okay.
They have declared that on the 1st of December, they will hold a very large rally. I know, if they try to hold a rally in summer, nothing happens, they are not able to take it. In winter, the rallies come out quite well. So on 1st of December or 17th of December, which has got an emotional significance, there is going to be one more very large rally. Somebody might go on a hunger strike because they are bent on pressing their point. And the point which they have made is actually, Navdeep said very correctly, I have been trying to understand from the leaders of this one, that what exactly is one rank one pension, and they say one rank one pension is with the same service. If you try to do that, the implementation of that is not difficult, it is impossible. The best you can do is on the date of implementation, the people on this side and that side, there is no difference between, and this was done by the 5th Pay Commission, this was done by the 4th Pay Commission. This is the first one, and what these people say is that this time with this MSP coming, the gain was so much that they could not absorb it.
Okay.
So they will have to now,
look for a via media.
They will have to find a solution to the fundamental question. They will have to do it.
Right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us in the discussion. There is no doubt that the government has moved one step forward in meeting the long-standing demands of the ex-servicemen. But since the announcement has failed to bring a cheer amongst the men in uniform, the government clearly needs to do more. That is all in Defence Line today. Do write your feedback. Good luck and goodbye.